those two things I like to do, play Army, fly. So when I got down to fly and be a flight mag, I figured, it's kind of a dream come true.
As a medic, you only have like a big aid bag with you, and what you have is what you have. Being a combat medic, you pretty much not necessarily specialize in anything particular. You just hope you can save their life from whatever's going on with them.
The basic mantra for a medic, you can sum it up: do the most good for as many as you can.
My ideals were that I would treat everyone. I was a medic, I would provide medical care. It wasn't me to judge the person that was in front of me.
And I was sitting in the back with the troops, and they were laughing at me. And they were calling me an FNG. That means funny new guy. Then they seen the caduceus on my collar, and they said, "Oh, he's a medic." And they said, "We better be nice to this guy because he may be saving our ass down the road."
Well, what you just saw was the teaser for the documentary called Medic, a documentary created for the Veterans History Project by students at Westminster High School. And here to talk about the film, how it all came about, are Congressman Ed Perlmutter, who's collaborating with Colorado schools to create 4 films for the Veterans History Project, and Chris Williams, Westminster High School's cinema arts teacher who led the project. Just that clip, pretty incredible. How did this all happen? How did this come together?
Well, Congress came up with this Veterans History Project to preserve the stories of our veterans and to honor their service and their sacrifice. And so these stories are put into the Library of Congress to be preserved for generations to eternity. And we asked Westminster High School to help us with this particular film, and they were prepared to undertake this responsibility.
And this is a huge undertaking, first of all. I mean, it has to be life-changing for these students. At the same time, they have to dig deep into some very personal stories.
Absolutely. I knew when they contacted us that it was going to be the project of a lifetime for our students, that they may never get an opportunity like this again. And we started last June getting the wheels going, and we put our IB history department on doing all of our research. Our graphic design course did all of the graphics for the film, and then my video cinema arts students, we did all of the production and editing. And I knew that we had to do this project because it was going to be an education outside of the walls of our school that they could never replicate again.
And how many students touched this project?
130 students.
And they did everything. They did the interviews, they did shooting.
Yeah.
So, and what was really remarkable is in these interviews, they're able to draw stories from the veterans that the veterans never even shared with their families. And so there's some funny stories about camaraderie and, the excitement of being in the military, and then there are the stories that are so sad. But these students were able to draw and tease out, these pretty intense moments in these medics' lives.
And these medics are from various wars.
Right. They, from all the way back to, we have one Vietnam veteran up to the first Gulf War in the 90s and up to the most recent Iraq and Afghanistan conflicts.
We have, excuse me, one more clip to show you. Let's take a look.
This happened on a Saturday. That morning, Sergeant Dima had got promoted to sergeant. He had actually gotten promoted that morning. He was 7 days away from going home. In the mortar attack, he was killed. He was 31 years old, had a wife and kids at home. He was a school teacher at a local high school. He came in with a whole bunch of other ones. I mean, my medics, they literally ran from their hooches right to where they were, and I had my on-duty crews going. They were there, and they got him in right away, and did what we could. And he was dead.
Wow, to see grown people cry. I can't imagine the impact on these students.
It was remarkable, and I'd like to point out even the music for the documentary was produced in-house. That was Michael Leinert on cello for that piece, and it brought so much to it that we had the talent at our school to be able to do it. But our students, they were troopers, because some of them, it impacted them to a degree that they weren't expecting.
So just the concept, really, of seeing grown people cry, that had to have had an impact on your students.
Absolutely. Some of them weren't quite aware of what to expect, you know, and it hit them hard. When one of our veterans, Angela, was speaking, there wasn't a dry eye in the studio. And I'd like to point out that the music there on that clip was performed by our orchestra teacher, Mr. Michael Leinert. And so we produced not only the video, all the music in-house as well, which is just a huge undertaking.
Well, and even for your office to make sure that this happens, I mean, this, again, I can't stress enough the impact on the kids, because they're learning history, they're learning video production. This is big for Colorado.
Really has two tremendous aspects to it. One is to preserve the stories of our veterans and to make sure we really do honor the sacrifice that they've made. And two, that the students learn about this and are able to learn firsthand what's going on. I mean, they can go to the Library of Congress, somebody can go 40 years from now and see this same movie, this documentary Medic, but these students actually heard firsthand the good things about joining the military and the tough things about war.
And your office has spearheaded other...
This is our fourth. So we did 2 movies with Aurora Community College, The Wars We Fought and The Greatest Generation, and then we did a movie through Front Range Community College called Women Warriors. And I got to be honest, all of these undertakings have been fantastic, and the high school students were able to really live up to the level and professionalism of those colleges.
So what's next?
Well, we're just going to keep expanding our program at school. We've added an advanced video cinema arts course, and they're going to be doing some really exciting productions that they'll write themselves that we'll hopefully have in a film festival at the end of the year in our theater.
And to be able to actually see this film, how can people at home?
Right. The best place would be to go to our YouTube channel. It's Westy VCA, all one word, and it's right there. It's called Medic. You can search it that way, and that's the easiest way to find it.
Okay, and we will also have a link on thedenverchannel.com. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time and for your effort. It's wonderful to preserve our history in this way.
Especially on Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely, and to bring in students to make that happen. It's a great idea. Thank you.
Thanks.
And we'll be right back.